Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of English Podcast Every Day. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jack. What's up, guys? Emma, I am really excited about today's topic.
Me too, Jack. Today, we are going to answer the biggest question for English learners.
Let me guess. Is it about grammar?
No, not grammar.
Is it about vocabulary lists?
Nope. It is about speaking. Specifically, how to start speaking English without fear.
Oh, wow. That is a heavy topic. You know, Emma, I hear this from our subscribers all the time. They say, I can read English, I can understand movies, but when I try to speak, I freeze.
Exactly. I freeze. That is the perfect way to describe it. Today, we will talk about why we freeze and how to unfreeze.
So let's start with the problem. Why is speaking so scary? I mean, it's just words, right?
Well, it feels like just words, but for our brain, it is a stressful situation. We call this the fear factor.
The fear factor. Sounds like a horror movie.
It feels like a horror movie for some people. Listen, Jack, when you learn a new language, you want to be perfect. You don't want to make mistakes.
Oh, definitely. I remember when I tried to learn Spanish, I was so afraid of looking stupid. I thought people would laugh at me.
That is the number one reason, the fear of judgment. We think everyone is a grammar teacher. We think everyone is listening to our mistakes.
But they aren't, right?
No, most people just want to communicate. They want to understand your message. They don't care if you use the wrong preposition.
So if I say I go to the park yesterday instead of I went to the park yesterday, is that okay?
If we are in an exam, no. But in real life, yes, because I understood you. You communicated the message. That is success.
I see. So we are too hard on ourselves. We are our own worst enemies.
Yes, we need to accept one simple truth. Making mistakes is necessary. You cannot learn to ride a bike without falling down a few times.
That's a great example. If I fall off my bike, I just get up and try again. But with English, if I make a mistake, I stop speaking.
And that is why you don't improve. To speak better, you must be okay with speaking badly first.
Be okay with speaking badly. I like that. It takes the pressure off.
Exactly. So for our listeners right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. Forget about being perfect. Today, we are just going to talk.
Okay, I feel better already. So we know why we are scared, but how do we change this mindset? How do we stop thinking about grammar rules in our heads?
That is a great question, Jack. It brings us to our next point, changing how we see English. It is not a school subject. It is a tool.
Let's dive into that in the next section.
Okay, Jack. We talked about fear. Now, let's talk about how we think about English.
You mentioned viewing English as a tool, not a subject. Can you explain that? Because for me, English was always a school subject, like history or math.
Right. In school, you study to pass a test. You memorize rules. If you make a mistake, you get a bad grade. You get a red mark on your paper.
Ugh, I hated those red marks. They made me feel like I failed.
Exactly. That is the subject mindset. But in the real world, there are no red marks. There are no grades.
So what is the tool mindset?
Think of language like a bridge. Imagine you are on one side of a river, and I am on the other side. You have an idea in your head, and you want to give that idea to me.
Okay, I'm visualizing it.
Your words are the bridge. Now, Jack, does the bridge need to be beautiful? Does it need to be painted perfectly?
No, it just needs to be strong enough to walk across.
Bingo! That is the secret. If I understand your idea, the bridge worked. You succeeded. Even if your grammar was a little ugly, the message crossed the river.
Wow, I never thought about it like that. I always try to build a perfect bridge in my head before I speak.
And that is why you hesitate. While you are trying to build a perfect bridge, the conversation ends. The other person walks away.
That's so true. So we need to focus on communication, not perfection.
Yes, we have a saying for this. Connection over perfection.
Connection over perfection. I'm going to write that down. But Emma, does this mean grammar is not important?
Grammar is important, but it is not the boss. It is the helper. Also, Jack, here is a secret. Native speakers make grammar mistakes too.
Really? Come on.
Seriously. In casual conversations, we break rules all the time. We use slang, we speak in incomplete sentences. If a native speaker doesn't speak perfectly, why do you have to?
That is a relief. So, I need to stop acting like a student taking a test and start acting like a person trying to connect.
Yes. Next time you speak, don't ask yourself, was my grammar perfect? Ask yourself, did they understand me? If the answer is yes, you win.
I love this mindset shift. It feels much lighter.
It is lighter, and when you are relaxed, you actually speak better. Stress kills your fluency.
Okay, I am ready to build some bridges, even if they are a little ugly.
That's the spirit. But to build those bridges, we need materials. We need input. How do we get that? That's coming up next. Now that we have the right mindset, let's talk about a real exercise. Jack, do you know how babies learn to speak?
They just listen a lot, right? They don't have grammar books in their cribs.
Exactly. They listen for months before they say their first word. This is called input. You need to put English into your brain before you can get it out.
Okay, so I should just watch movies all day? That sounds like a great plan.
Well, watching movies is good, but if you want to speak fast, you need an active technique. It's called shadowing.
Shadowing? Like a shadow on the wall?
Exactly like a shadow. A shadow follows you everywhere and does exactly what you do. In English learning, shadowing means listening to a native speaker and repeating what they say immediately.
Wait, you mean I don't wait for them to finish the sentence?
No, you try to speak at the same time or just a split second after them. You copy their speed, their emotion, and their melody.
That sounds difficult, Emma. Can we try it right now?
Let's do it. I will say a simple sentence with a lot of emotion, and you try to be my shadow. Ready?
Ready? I'm nervous, but let's go.
I can't believe it. This is the best coffee I have ever had.
I can't believe it. This is the best coffee I have ever had.
Not bad, but try to copy my melody. Listen to how my voice goes up and down. Let's try another one. Honestly, I think learning English is a great adventure.
Honestly, I think learning English is a great adventure.
Much better. You see? You didn't think about grammar rules. You just copied the sound.
You're right. I didn't think about present perfect or adjectives. I just focused on the music of the language.
That's it. Shadowing helps your mouth muscles get used to English. It's like going to the gym for your tongue.
So, how much should people do this?
Just 5 or 10 minutes a day. Use a podcast like ours or a YouTube video. Listen, repeat, and be a shadow. It helps with your accent and your confidence.
I'm definitely adding this to my routine. But Emma, what if I'm alone? What if I have no one to talk to?
That is actually a good thing sometimes. In our next part, we will talk about how to practice when you are by yourself. Okay, Jack, we practice shadowing, but let's be honest, sometimes you don't have a podcast playing. Sometimes you are just home alone.
Exactly. And people think if you don't have a native speaker friend or a tutor, you can't practice speaking.
That is a huge myth. Actually, your best practice partner is you.
Me? But I'll look crazy, Emma. If my neighbor sees me talking to myself in English, they will call the hospital.
Let them think you are crazy. But seriously, talking to yourself is the fastest way to build fluency.
How does it work? Do I just look in the mirror and say, "Hello, Jack"?
You can, but there is a better way. I call it narrating your life.
Narrating? Like a documentary narrator? And here we see Jack making a sandwich.
Precisely. Talk about what you are doing while you are doing it. For example, if you are in the kitchen, say, "Okay, now I am opening the fridge. I'm looking for some eggs. Oh, here they are. Now I need a pan."
Wait, that's actually really helpful. Because these are the words we use every day. Fridge, pan, looking for.
Exactly. You are connecting the English word directly to the action. No translation in your head.
I see. So instead of thinking in my mother language and then translating to English, I just live in English?
Yes, and you can also plan your day out loud. In the morning, tell yourself, "Today I have a meeting at 10. Then I'm going to meet my friend for lunch. I should wear my blue shirt."
I like this. It's like a safe zone. No one is judging me. No one is correcting me. I can make 100 mistakes, and it's fine.
Exactly. It builds muscle memory. Your mouth gets used to moving in English shapes.
What if I don't know a word? What if I'm narrating and I forget the word for spatula?
Great question. Don't stop. Just describe it. The thing for the eggs. Or use your phone to quickly look it up. Now that word will stay in your brain forever because you needed it in a real moment.
This is basically free English lessons 24/7.
It really is. So listeners, your homework today, go to your kitchen, make a cup of tea, and describe every single step in English.
I am boiling the water. I am waiting. It sounds simple, but I can see how it helps.
It's powerful, Jack. But to make these sentences even smoother, we need shortcuts.
Shortcuts? You mean like wanna and gonna?
Exactly. Let's talk about chunks and phrases in the next part. Jack, when you speak English, do you feel like you are playing a puzzle game? Like you have 10 pieces and you are trying to fit them together?
All the time. I think, okay, I need a subject, then a verb, then an object. By the time I finish the puzzle, the person I'm talking to is already looking at their watch.
That's because you are learning words, not chunks.
Chunks? Like chocolate chunks?
Exactly. A chunk is a group of words that always go together. Think of them as Lego blocks instead of tiny grains of sand.
Okay, give me an example.
Instead of learning how, are, and you separately, you learned how are you as one single piece, right? You don't think about the grammar of how are you. You just say it.
Right. It's automatic.
That's a chunk, and native speakers use thousands of them. For example, instead of saying, I want to go, just use the chunk, I'm gonna, or I'm planning to.
So if I learn the whole phrase, I don't have to worry about the grammar inside the phrase?
Exactly. It's like a shortcut for your brain. Here are some survival chunks every B1 learner should know. To be honest, as far as I know, I was wondering if.
I was wondering if. That sounds so professional and natural.
It is. And when you use it, you don't think past continuous tense plus if clause. You just use the Lego block.
This makes so much sense. It's like having a library of pre-made sentences in my head.
Yes, and it makes you sound much more like an American. For example, we rarely say I am going to. We say I'm gonna. We don't say I want to. We say I wanna.
Is that bad English, Emma? My teacher might get angry.
In a formal essay, yes, don't write it. But in a conversation, it's natural English. If you say, I want to buy a water, you sound like a robot. If you say, I want to grab a water, you sound like a local.
I want to grab a water. Wow, I sound cool already.
You do. So the tip for our listeners, stop memorizing long lists of single words. Start writing down 3-word or 4-word phrases in your notebook.
Chunks, not words. Got it. This definitely makes speaking feel less like a puzzle and more like just playing with Legos.
Exactly. And speaking of playing, we are almost at the end of our show. Let's talk about how to make all of this a habit. Well, Jack, we covered a lot today. We talked about fear, the bridge mindset, shadowing, talking to yourself, and using chunks.
My head is full of ideas. But Emma, honestly, sometimes I feel motivated for one day, and then the next day I'm tired. I forget to practice. How can I stay consistent?
That is the secret ingredient, Jack. Consistency. English is not a sprint. It's a marathon. You don't need to study for 5 hours once a week. You need to live in English for 15 minutes every day.
15 minutes? I can do that. I spend more time than that looking at CAD videos on my phone.
Exactly. So let's give our listeners a 30-day speaking challenge.
A challenge? I love challenges. What do they have to do?
It's simple. For the next 30 days, I want you to do 3 things every single day. 1, shadow 1 2-minute video. 2, narrate your breakfast or your walk to work for 5 minutes. 3, use 1 new chunk in a sentence.
That sounds totally doable. And guys, if you do this, you won't just learn English. You will feel like an English speaker.
Precisely. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is to be better than you were yesterday.
I feel so much more confident now. I'm actually going to go talk to my plant in English right after this.
That's a great start. Plants are excellent listeners. They never judge your grammar.
Thank you, Emma. This was a great conversation. And thank you to everyone listening.
Yes, thank you for joining us on English Podcast Every Day. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment. What is your biggest fear when speaking English? Let us know.
We read all your comments. See you in the next episode, everyone.
Bye. Keep speaking.